Hold Back the River by James Bay should sound like this. Now I'm going to walk you through step by step the different shapes, the different chord voicings, and I'm assuming you've got the PDF somewhere where you can see it or print it out in front of you. And let's get going with the techniques for your fretting hand. My fingers are numbered, and for this song I want you to use either fingers 1 and pinky like that, or 1 and 3, but not 1 and 2. So please don't do what I'm doing now. Either use this shape, so it'll look like this and sound like this, or 1 and pinky. And then stay with whichever combination you favor. Okay, on the picking hand quickly, I just want to show us the technique we're going to use for the picking style. I like using my thumb for the bass note, and I like using my middle finger for the high pitched note like that. But I've seen quite a few guitarists like using the thumb and the first finger. So you can use this using the middle finger, or if you favor, like we said, thumb and first finger. I don't really mind which you prefer. Okay, but stick with whatever one you do. Try not to swap the fingers around, it makes it more complicated. So whichever pair you want to do, that's cool by me. Going back to the chord shapes now, and as we can see, I like using my first finger and pinky. First shape, the 5 and 6 on your tab on the PDF is finger 1, string 5, fret 5, should sound like that. Pinky or ring finger, fret 6, second string, and we play them both simultaneously. Then there's a tiny little space, a tiny rest, before we go to the next chord, which is simply the first chord 2 frets up. You can see the movement, there's 1, there's 2. So here's your first one, and you can hear that little rest, that little silent gap we spoke of. Next shape is going to be 8 and 10. Now, when you work through the song, in essence, you'll notice there's only 2 hand shapes. In other words, this hand is only going to have 2 basic shapes. Your hand is either like this with no fret space, or it's like that. And what's also interesting for this song is when James plays from the 5th fret, it's the no space. In other words, no fret in between. From the 7, and I'm referring to the first finger in fret 7, no space. But every time he goes to the 8th fret, watch my pinky stretch now, there is a space. You can see that fret space now in between. So every time you're in the 7th fret, no space. Every time you're in the 8th fret, there is a space. I'm now referring to the first finger playing from 7 or 8. Okay, so we got this so far. And I'm purposely putting my fingers out the way so you can see the movement. Normally I play it like this, but then you can't really see what my hand's doing, so I'm just trying to make it easier for us to visualize and see what's actually going down. Next up, everything is sort of in pairs. So in other words, you got 2 beats, like that, or like that, 2 notes, bum 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 bum, excuse the voice, okay, but you got the idea there. And the next group we just spoke about comes down a string, because we started on we started on strings 5 and 2, and then you're going to go to strings 4 and 1. And because the first finger's in fret 7, we've got that no space we spoke about. And when you go to fret 8, there is that space we talked about. And you got this. And again, like I said, I have my hand closed normally when I'm playing it, because then my fingers can help dampen any strings that might make a noise. When it's out the way of you, it's very easy to accidentally let one of the other strings vibrate during the movement. But anyway, that's your next part. So from the beginning, let's take it again. 2, 3, 4, and there you can see the shape taking the fingers out the way. Next pair, sort of the same, but jumps a string. So you can see the first finger's on the 4th string, and it ends up on the 5th string. So watch it for this jump so you can see the numbers on the tab sheet as they change the lines, because the lines are the strings for those that are new to tab. Now, these two they just did. That part gets done again. So basically, if you look at the tab, you'll notice that there is repetition inside there, and it's important to recognize repetition because it means you learn the piece quicker, you understand what it's all about. So please watch for repetitions, pay attention to the numbers, helps a lot when you're learning something. And we're going to go back to the beginning and take it the whole way through, including those 2 repetitions we spoke about. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and here comes repetition. And we're up to there now in frets 10 and 8. Now you'll notice that so far, each time we've got 2 notes, they're vertical. In other words, they're on top of each other on the tab sheet, which means we play them both at the same time. But now you'll notice the 8 and the 10, sort of about 2/3 across the tab page, the 8 and 10 are staggered and should sound like this. Okay, and I'm going to show you quickly the picking hand again. I've got the 8 and the 10 over here, just to quickly recap. And we're going to do like this, because you can notice on the tab sheet the 8 and the 10, 8 and the 10 are no longer vertical, they're slightly at an angle. And you can use finger 1 and thumb as well, or finger 2 and thumb. I don't really mind. And after that, we're going to have a new chord shape. This is going to be the first real change I'm going to show you now. And there's the double 8. It's going to be the first time you're playing the 6th string. And you got your middle finger on the 2nd string. Now, you can do it like that too if you want to. So there's more than one way to play this double 8. You can do it like this, or like that. I'm not that fussy. It all depends on the size of your hand, the length of your fingers. They're all going to sound the same. Sometimes we are very fussy and say you must use the first finger or you must use the second finger. This is one of those cases where we're not too stressed which combination you use. And you finish off with a cool little single phrase, which is 10 and 9 on your 3rd string. And your last note is fret 8 with the first finger, you can see it there, on the 1st string. That's the introduction, and that is basically all you do for the verses. If you got this, you've actually got the basics for the tune. When it gets to the chorus, when he sings, hold back the river, let me look in, when he does that part, he plays a B flat chord, which I'm going to show you now, and an F. Let's have a look at the voicings. Now, I don't like B flat. It's not a favorite, so I'm going to show you 2 ways to play it. And I've noticed with most of those guitarists, they sort of favor one depending on how their fingers feel. But B flat starts finger 1, fret 1, string 1. Nothing in fret number 2. Middle finger number 2 goes to the 3rd fret. Ring finger to the 3rd fret as well, and pinky to the 3rd fret on strings 4, 3, and pinky on 2. Now, my little fat fingers are feeling incredibly unhappy and squashed in there. So this is not my favorite, although I've noticed most guitarists actually prefer this one. You can also do a bar chord for those in the bar chords, B flat as well. Or, here's my favorite. I put my first finger here, I put my pinky here. This is string 5 of the 1st fret. Pinky's on string 4 of the 4th string, or string 4, 3rd fret, sorry. And now watch what my pinky's going to do. You see that movement? And all I'm doing is I'm putting my pinky here flat across strings 4, 3, and 2. And then I've got the bass note there. So whichever B flat you want the standard one, or if you want a bar chord one, or that one, you can even go to fret 6 and play the E shape if it's easier for you. You've got choice. I don't mind which one you do. I'm going to go with my favorite. When he gets to the chorus and he goes, hold back the river, let me look in you, all he does is strum that once. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there's no real rhythm. It's not nothing like that. It's just one strum and let it ring. Okay. If you hear the listen, if you go watch the YouTube channel, you can actually hear the one strum there. And for the F, that's the normal F. What I did is I changed my F there, as you might have noticed, and I put my ring finger onto the 5th string and my pinky where my ring finger was. And that gives me a slightly richer, fuller, deeper sounding F. Can now play from the 5th string. quite happy with F like that. Or again, if you're a bar chord fan, please do a bar chord. These are all the tools you need for Hold Back the River. And there is a G minor which comes towards the end as well. But if you're playing this song, if I've given you this song, you're probably playing quite well already. So I want to see if you can't work out the second chorus when the bang is quite loud, it's quite busy towards the end, about sort of 3/4 way through the song. See if you can't work out your own rhythm for the B flat and the C's and F's and everything in the glass chorus. If you get stuck, drop me a WhatsApp, happy to hear from you. But I hope you enjoyed the main thing, and the basic lesson was to teach you that part there. Hope you enjoyed it. Have an awesome week. Take care. Bye.